Hey everyone, I'm gonna wait for everybody to get on here. Give me a second. I think my lens is fuzzy. Let's see if I can straighten that up. Dude, that should be a little clearer. Welcome, welcome, welcome. My name is Joelle. I'm a Viberarian. I'm here to elevate, enlighten, and empower. So today, I wanted to come on because I was getting a download and getting a reading, and I wanted to share with everyone. So I'm going to give it just a moment here to see if people hop on from the Good Vibe Tribe. It is the Pisces blue moon today. This is the second moon in the month, which is what makes it a blue moon. And I don't know about you, but there's a lot of things out in the emotional world going on. So I was guided to do some readings for myself. And of course, because I always ask for what's for my highest good and the highest good of all, then I share those readings as I'm guided to, because we're all one big collective having this experience. So if you give me just a moment here, I'm going to check in with everybody. Oh, yeah, I saw the notification went out. Thanks for your patience, everyone. All right, here we get ready to go. All right, so earlier today, I have been going through like emotions, and there's been a lot of information coming out on bombardment of energies, and I found that I needed to go to sleep a couple of times. It was like my system just shut down and I needed to just be still. Other times I felt like very overcome with tears and emotions, and then other moments just like feeling really at ease. So I know there is a lot of stuff buffeting out there, which means it can be all up in the feelings. And so I'm always asking, is it mine or is it the collective's? Is it my personal version of it or is the collective version of it? So today I wanted to find out what I should do about, like, what am I feeling? What's the context? So the first two cards that came out, I'm going to share with you, and then I'm going to dive in with the message from that, and then get some additional guidance on these energies. So if you know about our feeling and our vibration state, we are definitely so much more sensitive than what we might realize. Some of us are coming to great realizations of just how sensitive we really are. So the empath is a word that has come out a lot more in the public in terms of what people's understanding. And you'll see a lot of things about, oh, I'm an empath, be careful with me, or I feel things deeply, you can't lie to me, I'm an empath. But so all of us have empathy as an opportunity. And empathy is very different from like sympathy, which is a feeling towards someone's experience, whereas empathy is actually like feeling the reality of that experience along with someone rather than outside of. So like for instance, I know that I truly can only have sympathy for my friends who have lost their parents, because I am fortunate that both of my parents are still living. So I don't believe that I've had an experience that I can identify with as deeply as that. And so I would reserve and say that I cannot necessarily feel truly or identify with the loss of that until I reach that transition, should my parents pass away before I do, right? So But our goal and our challenge, excuse me, I'm just trying to be very specific with what I'm hearing. Our goal and our challenge is to not have to experience something in order to approach things with our empath sensibilities. So by that meaning, I don't have to walk a mile in your shoes in order to understand the blisters and the pain and the reality of what that walk might have cost you. If I can reach into that commonness and really truly feel it, then I have embodied empathy. And a lot of people don't realize how deeply they are reaching into other people's emotions. And that's mostly because we haven't been taught that we're doing that, or it's actually been taught as a bad framework or structure in terms of us trying to compensate for what we sense in others. So anyway, let me pull to, I'm going to switch my screen to the actual cards and speak to you about then the rest of the download as it begins to, as it's going to come in. So, all right. So let me see if I can. All right, I think everything is aligned for me at least. Let me see here. Okay, maybe we're good now. Okay, so I had not used this deck before, and so I pulled it out today in order to read, because this is all about, again, feelings. And I love the back of the cards. They're really, truly beautiful. This deck is by Raven Digitalis and the art by Constantin Bax. So step into a surreal world of radiant colors and affirming emotions. All right, so of course I thought that would be great for today. And I was not wrong. So let me pull here. What I'm going to do is we're going to get another emotional context from here to go with what I started to bring in the third energy. And then we're going to get guidance for our masculine aspect and our feminine aspect from the relationship geometry. And then surprisingly, I was guided to pull out this Oracle of E, which is another deck that I've used it before, but it has been some years. So I'm very curious to see how and why they wanted me to use this deck today. Okay, so thank you for sticking with me. I'm trying to see here if my autofocus, let me see if I could turn that off here. Well, we'll see if we can get to it, if we can keep with it. Uh-oh. Wow, that did something new. Okay. All right. So today's reading from the Empath Oracle first. The card that I received first was 30, engaging with fears and doubts. All right, so you see this shadow and it's like dark and stormy. There's all kinds of interesting shadow and light in this card. Again, this deck is very soft, as you would expect for emotions, but again, it's just like a tempest kind of energy. And that is what has been coming up, is this stormy feeling of uncertainty, and that there's something coming that is going to be a stormy time that is going to bring turbulence that we're kind of having this pause of breath for. And the pause, whether it's the pregnant pause, whether it is filled with fear or filled with positivity, is what kind of makes a difference for us. Okay, so the pregnant pause, like the moment before the birth of something, or when something comes out, like I could imagine that every parent wants to have that feeling of, oh my goodness, this beautiful baby has just now been born. And so rather than also then sitting with the fears and worries of what it's going to be like to be a parent during the process of gestating the child, really does have an effect on the amniotic waters and the vibrational state of the child that is being nurtured. And the same thing with our energetic children that are being nurtured. Our seeds are planting our future visions and our goals and ideas for ourselves. So what we want to make sure is that these engaging with doubts and fears, that we do that in a way rather than stewing in it, simmering in it, so that it does not become part of the emotional waters that we feed our future manifestation. All right. So in terms of the guidance from this lovely book, each chapter is very interesting. It has additional information. So I'm going to give that to us and continue. So essential theme is accepting that fear and anxiety can aid in self-development, questioning any thought or belief that may be self-limiting, and remembering that we are never truly alone. Okay, so the imagery is the dark woman in this painting understands that fears and doubts are only constructs of the mind. In the depths of herself, she understands that nothing can really threaten or harm her. When real dangers come her way, she will face them with courage and confidence. The deeper meaning: every empath experiences days where we simply wish to disengage with the world and shut everything out. For some, this can manifest in ongoing depression or anxiety, even a desire to sleep and never wake up. We must not be ashamed of dark tides when they occur, because we are on a journey towards understanding our deepest selves. Self-forgiveness in the face of fear and emotional challenges of the utmost importance for personal evolution. Pulling this card is a reminder that the brain can be illusory, which can easily influence your emotions. As other cards in this deck affirm, just because we think something does not make it true. This is especially relevant when it comes to the views we hold about ourselves as the beautiful human beings we are. Our empathic sensitivities are not meant to destroy us, but are meant to uplift the world, and that includes ourselves. It's not always easy, but practice makes perfect. It's healthy to consistently question our thoughts, yet it is unhealthy to constantly doubt them. The French term ennui describes an emotional state of listlessness, sorrow, and lack of excitement towards engaging with the world. Some call ongoing ennui a dark night of the soul, a term that has its roots in Christian mysticism. For empaths and other sensitive souls, ennui can come and go. It is our job not to give into these sensations, but to simply feel them, experience them, and try to understand them. These feelings will pass. If they don't, it is very important to seek professional help. Let me emphasize that. It's very important to seek professional help if you have a long-term depressive and sad feeling of listlessness and lack of joy. One perspective that can help combat ennui is a newer word in the English lexicon, sonder. In many ways, this is ennui's antithesis. Even though it sounds like somber, sonder is the positively overwhelming realization that everyone around us has their own story. Everyone has a complex inner landscape that has been formed through past experiences, past lives, current environments, and unconscious elements. In many ways, embracing sonder takes us out of our heads and helps alleviate loneliness. In this state, we can empathize with others as similar souls to ourselves. And we can empathize with others as similar souls to ourselves. During those times that fear and self-doubt overtake us, we can keep in mind that we are not alone and never have been. Suggestions for action. If maintained too long, the cloud of fear can begin to solidify, making it more difficult to break through. I've known many people to tackle this by safely taking a journey with a psychedelic hallucinogen, empathogen, or other kind of entheogen, accompanied by a shaman or medicine person, specifically with the goal of realigning and bringing the pure self back to the surface. This, however, is not everyone's path. Becoming strictly self-disciplined about daily spiritual practice, therapy, body purification, and other methods can often be equally successful. We have an innate responsibility to maintain our emotional wellness. Let me repeat that. We have an innate responsibility to maintain our emotional wellness. It must be said that people who are highly empathic and spiritual often experience a subtle sadness in their lives that can't quite be shaken. And this can often take the form of self-doubt and fearfulness towards life itself. For many, this is a result of seeing the harsh reality of the world and feeling an inability to relieve the suffering of everyone on earth. All beings deserve to be free from suffering, ourselves included. And it's enough to do the best we can to help alleviate suffering. By coming to terms with our own traumas and hardships, we can more easily guide others in transforming their own. Okay, how beautiful is that? I'm going to stop the share here just a moment so I could check in on the screen. Yeah. Oh, hey, namaste, sending so much namaste. Oh, yes, yay, Melanie. Driving on the road, be safe. Yay. Oh, and you went out and got, some beautiful island time, connected with nature. Wonderful, wonderful. I know you are a nature empath too. Oh my goodness, you feel the world. Your alleviate the suffering of all is like your motto. No wonder you're tapped in today. All right. So, hey, that was really beautiful, right? Nice deck, nice guidance. Definitely hit some areas. So, like engaging with fears and doubts for sure. Like tending to what is seen in a present way, sitting with it, and then moving it on through. Definitely, I can say that the experience that I had with ayahuasca was, I've had 3 journeys and they were all very, very transformative and helpful in me processing through a great deal of things that I still continue processing now through the pathways that were opened up from those journeys. Okay, so I'm going to keep it moving. That was card number 30, all right? And that's mind, body, spirit as well as something that 3 says to me. Now, the next card, I had to laugh. Let me pull this back over into our visualizer. Okay, I think we're here again. This is the next card. First of all, whenever I get a 7, that is my Divine Feminine Calling card. That is my resonant number. So I know this is a message from our Divine Feminine, from the Sophia, the feminine feeling, the intuition, primordial she. Okay, so conquering social anxiety. So we have fears that are coming up that are causing anxiety for society in the larger sense. All right. And then many of us experience social anxiety in a very personal sense. Right. So this is interesting because here we have these 2 emotions coming up. Sorry, I'm trying to get that together. These 2 things, fear, anxiety, and emotions. Excuse me for one moment, please. Okay, excellent. Thank you. So, the things that I wind up having anxiety about, social anxiety, it's interesting because you think of oneself as being like very confident in public settings until you're in a situation like if I were to be going to a party where everyone is going to be dancing, I would probably have some form of social anxiety because it hits a place where I have fears and doubts about my ability to keep rhythm when my legs are involved in my dancing. I'm laughing about that, but it's real, right? So I would probably be different in a situation where I'm presented with unknowns or places where I feel uncomfortable. And I think most of us can relate to there being a feeling when you don't know where you're going into, or where there's a certain expectation where you're going, where an anxiety can unexpectedly arise. And so like feeling through that and recognizing it and not trying to shame oneself, like, oh, what are you scared of? You should have been, and then also I'm getting like not allowing our anxieties to make our connection to society less unified, right? So a lot of our anxieties, when we're fearful and doubtful, we push away people and we tend to begin to covet or bring into ourselves. We fold ourselves up or protect ourselves. So if we're going to be going into a situation where there's a tempest and there's storms, rather than responding in fearfulness to our fellow people experiencing this, remembering to not be triggered into those dynamics and behaviors. Okay, so now let me keep going here. So the essential themes are activating methods to emotionally protect ourselves socially, remembering that anxiety and excitement are closely related, studying social dynamics from professional sources. The imagery, this card's painting speaks of a breaking through darkness. As the figure turns away from the black tones, the red tones indicate they are still aware of the anxiety that can accompany the choice of engaging with the world despite the challenges they may carry. The deeper meaning. Social anxiety is the worst, and empaths are no stranger to the experience. Because we are constantly absorbing emotional energies, both observed and unobserved, it's all too easy to become overloaded in social situations without necessarily understanding why. There's a social experience that scientists recognize as emotional contagion. Do you ever catch yourself looking in the same direction as a person you're talking to, or scratching your chin when the other person does? This is social contagion. When it comes to the emotional realm, it's a well-known fact that people, quote unquote, catch the emotions of others in daily life. Those who identify as empaths do this to a much higher degree than the average person, which can lead to increased social anxiety if we don't take proper precautions. This card reminds the empathic reader that you can overcome social anxiety. It just takes time and practice. It's essential to notice where you place your energy and how you go about daily social experiences. Are you reactive, or do you think before you respond? Are you relying on the approval of others, or is it enough to know yourself and humbly stand in your truth? We have the choice whether to surrender our energy to those around us or to anchor it inside so that we pilot the ship that is our human body and mind. That is powerful. We have the choice whether to surrender our energy to those around us or to anchor it inside so that we pilot the ship that is our human body and mind. Suggestions for action. During situations that can potentially induce social anxiety, it could be helpful for an empath to cover their head or brow in some manner before going out. Hats and bindis are always fashionable. Along similar lines, it's good to keep in mind that energy is intensively exchanged through eye contact. Don't avoid eye contact. This is a display of insecurity. Instead, if it feels too overwhelming to look another person directly in the eye, simply look at their brow between their eyes. I promise they won't even notice. This allows for a less intense emotional exchange. Keep focused on your breath when socializing. This will keep you connected to the deeper self. This calmness can also affect others you are speaking with, which can make conversations a bit smoother. Ignore the self-critic in social situations. This part of ourselves wishes to protect us in some manner, but does little to actually help us when we are actively socializing. Additionally, in order to project your energy outward, try asking questions. Engage with another person or people by asking questions and engaging with your best response. The more questions, the better. Not only does this allow the other person to feel more valued, but it also takes more pressure off the empath. We are great listeners. Okay. All right, so that's so interesting. It's interesting how these images are just like reflections of each other, and there's a continuity of the rainbow kind of prism thing here, which is also very interesting. All right, so overcoming social anxiety. Let me see where I am on time. Okay, I'm in a good time. Excellent. Excellent. Okay, so we're going to keep going. And yes, hold on. Okay, yes. Moving on to a third energy from the empath, from, oh, and I have to share, I had pulled, today's random number was 33. And so I'll share with you a channeled letter for number 33 that fits right along with this as well. All right. So, like our spidey senses, we're supposed to use the spidey sense, but as Ben on Suspicious Observers, a good channel for you to subscribe to stay in the know, as he says, eyes open, no fear, right? So I open my eyes to the shadows inside, the fears, the boogeymans that come out, but I feel the fear, but I don't fear my own shadow and my own dark places. I don't fear my doubts. My doubts let me know where I can increase my own self-love and self-acceptance, to hoorah myself, to cheerlead myself through those doubts and things, and to acquire those things that I need to help me feel less doubtful if there is something. Having an honest assessment is important as well. Okay, so let's see what our third message from Spirit into this aspect. All right, here we go. Experiencing the reality of change. Look at that. How awesome. It's like a rainbow. Whew, excuse me. It's like a rainbow or a prism. I feel like a butterfly. I see like a vortex in there, a portal. Wow. Okay. So 39 is also 12, experiencing the reality of change. All right, we're going to get into this together. I love it. Great deck. All right. Essential thing, bringing down the third energy into ourselves, right? Understanding that nothing in this world will last forever, approaching life with a sense of curiosity instead of dread. Okay. celebrating that we can create a positive echo or ripple in the world. This picture illustrates the change of the world that is reflected within us. The face in the picture has nothing static about it, but is in a constant metamorphosis. The reality of change can become part of our personality and thus teach us to live in harmony with the laws of the universe. Deeper meanings. Every moment is the now. There is nothing that is not now. When we experienced the past, it was now at that time. And all of our future experiences will be the now in that moment. As the ancient Greek axiom states, Panta rei odun mene, everything flows, nothing is stagnant. It is safe to say that change is the only constant in life. It is the only thing we can truly count on. This can be approached with fear, with awe, or a combination of the two. This card encourages you to maintain a sense of curiosity towards life. You don't know what's next, and that's okay. Rather than defaulting to a state of anxiety towards the unknown future, why not embrace it with childlike curiosity and excitement? Those who are curious about the world and the mechanics of reality often enjoy researching quantum physics and deep spiritual philosophy. As empaths, we can reflect on how the reality of change affects our emotional state of being. Thoughts influence feelings, feelings influence emotions, and emotions influence our perspectives and actions. It's both easy and accurate to say that our thoughts influence our reality. This card is an essential reminder that we co-create our realities with our thoughts. We are not merely pawns in others' games, but are additionally architects of our perspectives and experiences. Suggestions for action. Co-creation is a complicated subject and it's important to be realistic. This card encourages you to examine what our thoughts create reality means, including how accurate that statement is. At the very least, it is agreeable that our thoughts influence our perspectives on life and our role in this crazy game of life. The more positively we control our thoughts, the happier our existence will become. To gain a deeper understanding, slowly look at everything around you, whether plant, animal, or mineral. This includes yourself and other humans. Think about everything you observe, including yourself, the observer. Everything will change, dissolve, disintegrate, and reformulate. Without becoming emotionally attached to this truth, consider how consciousness comes into play. If everything in physical reality disintegrates and reformulates, is this indicative of reincarnation? Asking questions such as these, as well as engaging in studies of quantum mechanics, are but a few of the things this mysterious card encourages you to investigate. Okay. Wow, beautiful, beautiful message. Okay, I have to keep going because I'm on a deadline and this is just a beautiful energy. So we're going to see what our relationship guidebook says here. All right. This is from The Sacred Geometry of Relationships by Lon. I love these two decks, the regular one and this relationship one. I've been using it for my last few readings. So we're going to get a sacred geometry structure to support our masculine side and our feminine side as well. Okay. All right. So we have from underneath our feminine, from on top, our masculine. All right, so on the feminine side, ooh, freedom. Look at this, beautiful, another 321. And I love how we've been talking about metamorphosis because that is when the butterfly breaks free from the chrysalis. That is when we are free, right? Oh, here we go. Yes. Free of our previous constraints, our prior form, our prior body happens from this point. So this is very, very beautiful here. Let's see, the shape comes in differently as the cards come in. I just never know exactly what I'm going to be to do. So you'll just have to bear with me as this comes in. So, all right. So freedom. I know I believe that we actually had this in our previous message a week or two ago. All right. I am free. May all beings be free. May be free of fear, anxiety, and anything socially that divides us. All right. All right. So here we go. Freedom refers to a state of being able to change or move freely. It is associated with physical flexibility, with choice to move without constraints and limitations, and with personal freedom, as in the right to express oneself. In a more esoteric context, it can be linked to our journey as a spiritual being on a physical body on Earth, which is said to be the only place in the universe that this is based on free choice. It means that the divine will not impose its will upon us, leaving us to our individual expression and evolution. We have the freedom to determine our own path and call on divine intervention only when we choose to. In the new energy and the multidimensional reality that is emerging, freedom covers an increasingly vast area of individual and multidimensional expression, ranging from innovative and original thoughts and solutions to existing situations, to awareness and celebrations of one's individual heritage and preferences. Many individuals are now aware of their experiences beyond this given lifetime, having access to their Akashic inheritance, and are conscious of the fluidity of true multidimensionality. As we learn how to access the quantum field, the unified field of unlimited potential, and as our understanding and mastery of how our thoughts and intentions create what shows up in our reality and our lives, our freedom is expanding beyond what we ever thought was possible. This means that we must let go of definitions that bind us to certain form or expression, as everything in multidimensionality is an ongoing flux and transformation. For some, this go with the flow attitude comes naturally and is exciting and liberating. For others, it creates great fear as we head into the unknown and undefined. All right, conquering that social anxiety. Some people are afraid of freedom because they don't understand what it means. They're used to structure and form of the Piscean age. All right. Okay, to illustrate the totality of freedom and activation doesn't come into one expression. Although only two are represented here on two different cards, many more are possible with imaginable, as our freedom to choose our own expression and destination is limitless, expanding in synchronized rhythm with our awakening consciousness. All right, so this image is based on a crop circle design. Let me see if that's the one. Yes. The intricacy of the crop circle just demonstrates an undeniable fundamental knowledge of sacred geometry, as well as profound creativity and intelligence. Here, the crop circle design represents the complexity and multidimensionality of freedom, allowing us to choose what we want to see. Perhaps the spread out wings of our ability to move beyond the three-dimensional gravitational pull, or perhaps arms spread to the heavens as an indication of our joyous connection to the cosmos and to source. While the pink and gold freedom image might have an overall soft feel, its colors represent both the feminine and the masculine. Pink is associated with the divine feminine attributes of love, nurturing, stillness, and receptivity, and with the sweetness, tenderness, and care. Brighter pink incorporates aspects of aliveness, excitement, high energy, and power. Gold symbolizes the abundance, wealth, and power and is connected to the sun and the divine masculine, which is strong, focused, and active. These aspects help us to bring our dreams and ideas into form. The blue freedom image might have an extraterrestrial feel to it, referring to our often off-planet origin. The diamond shape around the outside indicates our connection to the earth plane. The color turquoise refers to the high heart, the place where the love of the heart and communication of our throat comes together in loving expression of truth and compassion. The lights in both of the freedom activations indicate the input we receive from the cosmos and the output we offer in return, the ongoing dance between the universe and the eternal soul that has the freedom to create its own experiences. Okay, so here we have that light, that eternal light that it's talking about. Okay, so this is very interesting. I feel like I need to find the other freedom card so that I can understand what the difference in the two situations is. Let me see here. That's twice that. Oh, so here are the two freedom cards. Wow. Okay. 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 Well, there we go. I understand now. I understand. Okay. As people like to say, I overstand. This just really makes so much sense. All right. Now let us take freedom into the home stretch. Freedom in relationship. A fundamental human desire is to have the freedom to stand on our own feet. Hello, root chakra. The freedom to be able to make our own decisions about things that affect us. And that's our solar power, solar plexus, our sacral, freedom to grow our things that we want to. Free to love. I mean, like, we can't forget all the chakras between, like, freedom to stand on our own two feet, freedom to have creative expression, freedom and power to bring those things to life, and then freedom to love how we want to love, and then to speak our truth, okay? Freedom to speak and our authentic yeses and nos without fear. While all these things are challenging when we are considered single and only have to maintain our autonomy and honesty towards others who are, for instance, friends, family, and relatives, it's a whole new game when we become romantically involved with another. The romantic aspect brings in a new level of vulnerability, intimacy, and authenticity. While in a friendship, our differences and uniquenesses are often appreciated and considered exciting and of great value to the relationship. But in our romantic encounters, these things can feel threatening, a sign of incompatibility. It would be good to realize that the greatest contribution we can make to our relationships, all relationships, is our authenticity, originality, and honest expressions of our true desires, fears, yeses, and nos. Our greatest evolution happens when we are pushed beyond our comfort zone, our limits, and our existing beliefs, when we gain the freedom to explore new territories, thoughts, and paradigms, and are celebrated for having the courage to do so. Relationships are an exciting and effective way of doing all this. I absolutely agree. I love all of my relationships. I love the excitement and getting to experience myself through the dynamics of myself and others and what they are sharing with me. So that beautiful way of celebrating other people because they're teaching me something new as well. I've never had a conversation with this person to share with me their particular journey or experience or opinion or perspective about something. So it's all very enlarging for me, expanding for sure. Food for thought. Do you always feel free to express yourself in your relationships? I can honestly say that I have not at times in the past not felt that free to do so. Why is there a difference between the relationships to which you feel free and the ones in which you don't? Because of engaging with fears and doubts and the social anxiety that comes with certain situations and being vulnerable, feeling very vulnerable in that. Okay. What would it take for you to feel free to express yourself to everyone in your life? Wow. I guess that's going to take some growth. These are questions to sit with. If both expressions of freedom show up in your reading at the same time, it might indicate that freedom is a big topic in your life. Do you feel free? If not, what stands in the way of your freedom? A lot of what stands in the way is freedom, is old mindsets. A very real example of that is there is a tension in the workplace of the older generation and the environment that I work in. They want the younger people to not work from home, to come into the office. And the younger generation is like, why do we have to come into the office? We have been doing fine. We're love being free. We don't want to be chained to the commute and the things that you all are used to being chained to. So there is a great tension and the desire for freedom that is happening. And we're all experiencing that in different ways. So that's just one small example of it. Okay, so, all right, I'm getting close to my time here. Thank you so much for sticking with me. All right, so the other card here, oh, wow, time. Time keeps on quickly slipping into the future. All right, 41. The energy of time supports our understanding of the relativity of time and our capacity to be present in the moment. That's what we just had, being in the now. Every moment is the now. Every moment is this 0 point. If you live from that space, wow, this is beautiful. Talking about being in the moment, in the now, in the 0 point. All right, so I am timeless. Time structures our daily rhythms, a time to work, to eat, to sleep, to socialize. Yet such an ordered concept remains relative, as we know since Albert Einstein's work, meaning that our perception of time depends on where we are, who we are, and what we are doing. We can interact with someone on the other side of the globe and they can be in a different time zone, half a day or night ahead or behind us, yet we can still share a moment together. A day may seem to move faster or slower depending on whether we are at work or on vacation or in the dentist's chair. If we are a farmer, we may experience time differently than if we are a stockbroker. Many people feel that time is increasingly speeding up. I'm one of those people. This acceleration can be partly contributed to technological advancements that allow us to do many things much quicker and more efficiently. We simply get more done in a shorter amount of time. In a broader view, time is a social sequential construct that society has created to get a better grasp on reality, to determine when all things made of matter take place in our universe. It prevents things from happening all at once, and we divide time into 3 separate elements: the past, present, and the future. This is a linear, horizontal way of looking at time, and it has been fundamental to our perception of a 3-dimensional world. Now that we are waking up to the concept and that we are multidimensional beings, we must consider vertical time as well. Getting lost in the moment can refer to the perception that time no longer exists, that there is no connection to our past or future, horizontal time, and that all we experience is the present moment, vertical time, in which we can be fully present with our awareness, completely focused on what is going on in our now. Okay, be in our now. The double infinity sign is an indication that time is a relative and elusive concept that is mostly connected to a three-dimensional reality. The eight-pointed star refers to the infinity sign as well, but also has a shape in a three-dimensional form-based world. Eight balances the material and the immaterial or spiritual world. Here, it merges time in three dimensions with time in multiple dimensions. There are two flower of life grids, one in the foreground and one in the background. Both refer to the flower of life as the foundation for our form-based world, yet their occurrence in different layers refers to the multidimensional nature of our existence here. The blue background refers to the infinite space of the quantum field around us. The outer circles indicate the different speeds in which time manifests itself in different places. The purples and magentas refer to our connection to a higher power or source. The yellow and orange symbolize the sense of self and presence that we manifest in our form-based reality. Time and relationship. We often use time as a measurement to validate our relationships. While this is certainly a valuable tool for assessment, the quantity of time by itself does not validate the significance of our connection with another. We can spend a lifetime with another human being, yet never experience deep or meaningful connection. It is also possible to deeply and profoundly connect with another after just a short period of time, even instantly. When this cannot be explained by the interaction we have had with them in this lifetime, we might consider our eternal souls on ongoing journeys in many physical forms. Perhaps the quality of the connection is determined by the vertical time we spend with another, what happens in the moment, than by the horizontal time or duration. Food for thought. Many of us think often about time. We even use the word in a variety of ways. It's that time of day. Every time I go there, this happens to me. I would really like to spend some time with you. Pay attention to how often you use the word time and how many different ways. Are you able to be fully present in the moment? What happens when you are? Have you experienced time standing still? What happened? What were you doing? Were you with someone else? Can you revisit or recreate that experience? Have you experienced what it feels like when time is speeding up, and what causes this? Okay, so I am feeling the time. I am definitely feeling the time of the now moment, as I've been like feeling the clock coming, right? Today for sure. And I'm definitely in a second now moment. Isn't that weird? Okay, so I am distracted because I wanted to get the channeling in, but I'm also aware of the time because I have an appointment to attend to shortly after that. So I'm going to have to sit with that because I'm having a fear of missing my ride, but I also want to bring in the message that I'm supposed to do. So let me just go ahead here in this now moment, and I'm going to have to re-listen to my whole reading for my own self when I could do so. I just needed to bring in the download. So we're going to get 3 messages from the Oracle of E. These are super short, sweet, to the point. So for this now moment of being up in our feelings and processing that and becoming free as we co-create that experience in the now moment. All right, so 1, 2, and 3. All right. Woo woo! That's a celebration. That's a 7. That's spirit giving it to us. All right, so divine feminine showing up. It's party time. Hang out, the streamers. Invite your friends. Put your dancing shoes on. Okay. There's never been a better time to fist bump everyone you know. Joy is the word. Smile till your face hurts. Okay. Woo woo. I'm giving it that E. Yes, I will. Yes, I will. All right. What do we have here? Oh, the F word. We got a 30. That's so crazy. So we got 43 and 30. 34 and 30. Oh, that's so awesome. Okay, so the F word. What is that gonna be? Is that gonna be that F it, let it go? Nobody likes the F word, but the dude sees forgiveness through a different pair of glasses. Okay, the F word is forgiveness. He knows that everything is going to turn out fine in the end, and that holding on to negativity and old wounds is just postponing the inevitable. Your success is a done deal. Your bliss is going to happen. The F word is the place to start. Let it go, forgive, forget, and follow the yellow brick road. Okay, that's a different F word. All right, for 30 and 30 for 30, 34, 43 over here. Woo, woo. All right, and from Spirit, we have Sticky Wicket, which is 48, which is another 3. Sticky Wicket. Oh, that's a sticky wicket. Sticky. Proceed with caution. It's a delicate situation, but that doesn't mean there's any real danger. Just remember that it's time to pause, to reflect, to appreciate all that you have now and all that you're about to receive. Okay, proceed with caution. It's a delicate situation. All right, but it's saying that doesn't mean that there's any real danger. All right, so we are going to be okay. Whatever this is coming. Celebrate, put some joy out there so that we could create that joyful reality that we want to experience. All right, be in the now moment. I love this. Okay, all right. That is going to do it for the message today. Thank you. All right. Vibertracks Tribe. Thank you, everyone. Put them up, put them up. Woo, woo. I'm going to stop the share here. All right. So thank you for joining me. Namaste. I'll see you on the next side. I know my emotions are a lot better now, but I'm going to have to sit with some of this stuff. It's a little sticky for me. I'm going to have to figure out where I'm not living truly as free as I could be. Namaste.